the right to be here. So look at the person next to you and go, you know what, I am super bad. I am. Look at the person next to you, don't look at me. Look at the person next to you and go, you're super bad. I'll look at you and tell you you're super bad. How about that? Well, I want to tell you my story because I think everybody in this room has a story, and your story will continue as you move on into your career and into the next level of your life. My story started back in Ireland. I'm originally from Cork City, Ireland. I came to the United States in 1979 with a dream in my heart. Now, how many of you came here because you have a dream? Raise your hand up high. And some of you haven't figured out what your dream is yet, but you will figure out what it is. And the reason why I came over to the United States was for many different reasons, but I'm going to try and put this in a nutshell for you, because when I grew up in Ireland, I was the middle child of 6 children. My mother had a stroke after her first child, and she was told she didn't have any more kids, but she didn't allow the doctors to take away her dream, and she decided she'd have more because she wanted to have a son to continue the Hennessy name. That was my maiden name before I got married to Mr. Ortega. And so Mama went on to have another child, even though they told her she couldn't, and she did okay. She was able to have that second child, and it wasn't a boy yet. So she had another girl. How many of you are feeling her pain? You know, here she's already handicapped, but she's decided to have another child, and she went on to have another one, and it was a girl. And so she decided, well, I did okay, so I'll have another one. And so she went on, and she had another child, and she did great. What do you think she had? That would be me. You're all supposed to be excited. And so obviously I didn't fit the bill, but is there anybody in here a middle child? Raise your hand if you're a middle child. How many of you are the middle child and you're the one who pumps up the tires and puts out fires? That would be us, right? We're the ones who pumps up the tires and puts out the fires. Well, I wasn't the boy, but they dressed me like a boy. So I was the one in the dungarees and the short hair, and that's why I grew my hair out long. Yippee! Because we can as girls, right? And so Mom went on to have another child, and what do you think she had? A girl. How many of you are really feeling her pain? And so she went on to have another child. What do you think she had? She had a boy. That's a celebration moment. Y'all can applaud that, because that was a big deal. And then she decided, well, I'm not done yet. I'm going to give him a companion, so he wouldn't have to grow up around all the girls. How many of you in here are a guy that grew up with a lot of girls in your family? Oh, I know. I'll pray for you now, right? So she went on to have another child, and she had a girl, and they stopped. And I always say that was the thank you, Jesus moment. But my father had his own business, so my mom really had an okay life, you know, and we did as children at the beginning. But what ended up happening was my father's business was failing, and I'm so excited that y'all are learning how to, you know, go from high school, some of you are juniors, some of you seniors, going from high school on into this world and go into it successfully. My father's business was failing behind the scenes, and he came home and he took that out of my mom. And I don't know if anybody or any of you in here are children of alcoholics, but my father was an alcoholic, and he took that out of my mom. And the short version of that whole story was, you know, hurting people hurt people. How many of you know this to be true? That alcoholics don't enjoy being alcoholics. They're drinking because they're masking pain. And my father was, and he never told my mother about the failing business. He died when he was 42 years of age, leaving us with nothing. So I don't know if any of you in here are from a background like that where you have absolutely not too much of anything. So we grew up on $85 a week. My mother had to file for a widow's pension, and that was $85 a week, and that's what we were brought up on, along with handouts and people taking care of us. And we went to school with holes in our shoes, and we also went to school knowing what our clothes were going to be a year out based on what our aunt and uncle's children wore. And I don't know if anybody in here is in that position, but we were. But it does not have to dictate your future. You can choose to be a victim, or you can choose to be a victor. Now, how many of you choose to be victorious when you leave this program? I want you to raise your hand up high because people are watching you. You're going to be victorious because your past does not have to dictate your future, ever. You know, so many people in life want a testimony, but nobody wants a test, and all they have is the monies. So be careful what you're moaning about. You know, what you think about, you bring about. And I remember as a little girl sitting on the beach of Ireland and wishing and dreaming and having a vision for my life. How many of you in here have a vision for your life? Raise your hand. That I did too. I didn't have anything, but I had a vision. We used to sit by the ocean in Ireland and watch the American ships coming in, and we used to watch them going out. And I always dreamt about being one of those people on that boat, like those Americans with all those big old diamonds hanging off their fingers. How many of you in here dream of something like that? You dream of bigness, more. And it's not so much that you dream of it for you, but for what you can do with it, how you can help your mom, how you can help your father, So I dreamt all those things. And I believe in divine intervention. How many of you believe in divine intervention? Raise your hand up high if you do. And what that means, for those of you that don't know what it means, is that you're at the right place at the right time for the right reason. How many of you believe, like right here, right now, that you're at the right place, right time, right reason? Raise your hand up high. Good. That is the right answer. Because this is going to change your life. People came in and out of my life and changed my life. I got a phone call from a couple in the United States that needed a nanny. And they said that they would pay me $20 a week if I would come over and be a nanny. Now, how many of you are excited about $20 a week? Well, you know what? When you have no money, $20 is $20. How many of you found this to be true? So I brought a $20 bill with me today. How many of you like money? My whole premise is $20 and a dream. Because when God gives you a dream, He gives you the ability to achieve your dream. But it's up to you to do your part. How many of you believe that to be true? Raise your hand. It's up to you. Okay, so this is the $20 bill. How many of you know its value? I need somebody to come on up here and be my little Vanna. Tell me your name. Mary, come on up here. We're going to put you in the spotlight for a minute. Okay, I want you to hold that up, and that is a real $20 bill, right? Okay, well, there's a story that goes behind a $20 bill. They paid me $20 a week when I came to the United States. And over the last 5 years, over $20 million in my company's business from the Kansas City area. Is that exciting? The $20 did not dictate my future. The $20 started my future. So I want you to crumple it up. Now, how many of you want it? Still? You still want that $20 bill? Raise your hand. Okay, so is it still worth the same thing? It is? Okay, now I want you to put it on the floor and I want you to stomp on it. Stomp on it. Okay, stomp on it some more. Go ahead. You can do it. Okay, now I want you to pick it up. I want you to open it out. And I want to see from a show of hands who still wants this $20 bill. Okay, so the $20 bill, did it change its value? No. People still want it because it still has its value. You have value. You are the next generation that's going to change the world. I want you to get excited about that. Doesn't matter what somebody has said or told you about where you're going in your life. You get to decide the value of your life. How many of you are getting excited about that? At the end of my little talk here this morning, I'm going to give away that $20 bill. Who wants it really bad? Because that $20 is going to take you to great places. So, I know, darn, you have to give it back for a minute, right? Okay, we'll give it back here to you in a second. Somebody's going to get it. So when I arrived in the United States, I came into the United States with an exciting dream in my heart because you do live in the richest, freest country in the world. Look at the person next to you and go, I do? You do. You do. Some of you know it, some of you are still trying to figure it out. What are the last 4 letters of American? Say it out loud. What does it say? I can't hear you. I can. Do you see a T in the end of American? No, it says I can. Look at the person next to you and go, I can. You're starting to feel it, right? Because you can. You can do and be anything you want to be if you want it badly enough and you're willing to do the work. When I came over to be a nanny, it was not fun work, but it was work. And work is a privilege. My mom grew up handicapped and she couldn't work. They still won't hire her today. Work is a privilege. Get excited about the fact that you're getting ready to launch out into the world to get to go to work. So elbow the person next to you and go, ooh, I'm never going to be thinking lazy thoughts again. Go ahead, elbow the person next to you. My next job was from my $20 a week went to I needed another job. How many of you know $20 is not going to get you much? Might get you a little bit of cosmetics and a little bit of interesting things for women, but that's about it. So I went and found another job in a restaurant as a waitress. Anybody in here waitress before? Raise your hand. Yay! I made $47.50 a week. How many of you are excited for me? That's a yippee-skippy moment because I had $47.50 a week and I had $20 on top of it. Now I made how much? That's right. That still wasn't enough money for me to survive. So I wanted to make sure I was sending money home to my mom. That was my goal, and I sent money to her every single week. I didn't care if it was $5 or $10. She got the $5 and she got the $10 so that her life would be different. Then I heard on the TV and on the radio that they were looking for NBA cheerleaders. And I thought, that sounds like fun. Never cheered before in my life. Ever. Went to try out at Shepler's out here in Kansas. and they hired me. Why did they hire me? Who said it?